So he says, I'm sorry.
Video from what you usually see on my channel.
Okay.
You usually see me screaming, jumping around, having a time of my life, screaming Tatakai or talking about Chantaro. But I've been going through a lot in these past 6 months mentally.
Okay.
And it's not about you guys. It's not about anime. Anime is like the best thing that's ever
Try
happened
looking
to
to
me,
the
to be
screen
honest.
a little bit into
So
webcam.
first and foremost, let's make that clear. It's not that. I don't know what it is. But it's like, I want to be the person you see on my videos. I want to be that person. I want to be happy, excited, making jokes, having a time of my life. But it's like when the camera turns off and I'm not doing a video, I'm laying down on my bed looking up at the ceiling,
Right,
asking myself,
just
what am I
listen to
doing
him,
with my
right?
life? Who am I? Why am I depressed? I have everything I want, or at least what I think I wanted. Why am I not happy? Why am I so lost? You know, with streaming, I noticed a lot. With a video, when I do a YouTube video, I could bottle up my energy for a day and then record that video, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Unless I'm doing a longer episode, then it's like 40 minutes. Maximum 40 minutes. When I stream, we're talking 2-3 hours, and I'm not faking my reactions. I'm not faking
Yeah, we're not.
my excitement and
So-
happiness
Right.
because I have to go to my job. I have to put on a smile. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we get it.
That's the only time I am happy. So it's like the opposite. I'm not faking it. I'm putting it on. I'm being my true self. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've realized with streaming, it put a lot of things into perspective. Like, could I do this? Could I use this energy for that amount of time? Because I'm exhausted after a stream. At the end of my streams,
So,
you notice
I'd
sometimes
like to
I'm like,
pause at
guys, I'm
this
tired.
point.
I'm exhausted. And I'm not talking about sleepy tired.
So he's talking about being exhausted, right? You just heard that, and I think the main thing here is, you know, what I was talking about previously. I was like, you know, I was sad. I first watched this. I didn't finish the entire video, and I was thinking to myself, you know, there's no way, man, Nick. Like, this guy's streamed for this first time. 2-3 hours is a long time for a beginning stream. I remember when I first started streaming for the first 3-4 hours. I ran a stream trying to set up the office desk after my first 2-3 streams, restarting this project. And by the 4th hour, by 4 hours, because it took much longer than I wanted, my voice was so sore, and I pushed forward, and you know, that made me sick. I actually got sick. I got fucked up. I got a respiratory illness. Like, I got a sore throat. I got infected. It got progressively worse and worse over the coming days and then weeks, and eventually I got sick for about a month and a half just because I pushed myself. It's like, this is not surprising at all to me, but I can see why, if it's this first time he's first streaming, it's like, you can't handle it's just a natural body limit, and you're apologizing for this, and I think that you got nothing to apologize for. You got nothing to apologize for, Nick. But let's
But like
keep it
mentally
going,
exhausted. I am at like
mentally
my
exhausted.
maximum amount of communication at that time.
Yeah, and I was so dead tired because I realize now I'm not really even addressing this point right now, right? It's like, it's not really that serious. He's a pretty chill dude, right? But the fact is, even when it comes not to just like vocals and being able to say stuff and let me hear myself here. I think that there's no way you're gonna have any energy left. You're gonna be so emotionally drained by the 3-hour mark of interacting with so many people. I don't think there's any way you could possibly continue streaming for that long. Oh, probably face is a little bit further down, capture it a little bit better. So, again, I don't think there's anything for him to apologize for. I don't think there's anything for speaking to you directly, Nick. Like, there's nothing you really need to apologize for, but that's really, it's kind of, I'll be honest, it's kind of sweet of him for that he does feel that
And
way.
I don't want to be like that. I don't. And I thought if I kept doing it, More and more, I would get there, but it just gets worse. And I want to stream. I want to do more. I want to talk to you guys. It's not like I'm forcing myself to do this, but I just can't right now. I can't. And I hope you understand. I hate letting people down.
And there shows,
especially
right?
Those that mean everything to me.
He just said he hates letting people down, especially those that mean everything to him. Kind of shows a little bit of, I mean, where do we learn these habits from, right? I mean, I guess it's pretty standard for people to just make it to a point in life where they, of course, it's normal for people to not want to let other people down, and to feel like they're kind of obligated in their own will to satisfy their loved ones, right? Or satisfy people who he feels mean so much to him. And in that case, it's all his viewers, it's his community that he's built. He's very energetic and raw and uncensored, right? He just really just talks shit and fucks around, and that's what makes him so entertaining all the time whenever he's on the YouTube videos. And I love his reactions because he's kind of brought this perspective of being someone who doesn't watch anime and showed, what it's like for someone who doesn't really understand what anime is about, gets into it, and then he loves it because he finds out that the entire time it's just a straw man. What he thought it wasn't. And what he thought that it couldn't be, it actually is. For people who have hobbies that are typically ostracized most of their lives, you don't know how much this means to them to finally be accepted into some sort of mainstream society. Even if that's a pretty shallow way of looking at it, it's just from the emotional content, the sentimentality of it, it's huge. Of course, by that time, people will have already become adults, and they've already long accepted the fact that, if nobody accepts, that's still alright, I can still enjoy my own hobbies. And because we're adults by that point, right? Whether you're 20, 30, 40 years old, 50, you're matured. So you're not dependent on other people's opinions about whether they like what you like. But the fact is that he's providing this insight, and everybody just loves watching reactions that are like that. That's why there's so many react channels that get successful from. This is my first time watching football, my first time watching K-pop, this is my first time playing this game, this is my first time playing this sport, my first time doing this business, is the first time a legal expert has dived into dentistry, the first time, it's always the first, and it's always about bringing new perspectives in from people who are not familiar with that particular niche or hobby or activity, and so on and so forth. That really brings out the relatability and excitement in people who are already invested in a particular niche or hobby. And that's what Nick is providing here, really. And then he shares throughout his journey how much he loves this particular hobby activity that he thought he wouldn't really much like, and people enjoy that. I think it's very human. It's very human, and so when he comes here and he tells us, back to the point, he says, he doesn't want to let us down. It's like, let us down with what? He's providing so much for so many people. I know it's not just me who particularly enjoys his reactions and so on and so forth. I think it's very clear that lots of people like what he does. They love seeing someone new get invested into a hobby that they themselves wish other people would be more invested in themselves as well, or at least be more accepting, or see the value or the incredible creativity and the great ideas and the world building and the characters and so on and so forth. Whatever it is, in this case it happens to be anime, but it could just as well be applicable to fitness. learn word like calisthenics or Muay Thai. It could just as well be learning how to run a business and learning how to do a particular type of job, or having a particular comic or something like that, a certain TV series. And I think Nick doesn't have a lot to apologize over, and he's not really letting us down, but he feels that way, and that you feel this way. I just
guys,
like to say, Nick, you can put that at ease, because first of all, if there are people who are disappointed, they're probably not the kind. You can just kind of fuck them, right? It's not really. Those are not the kind of people that you really need. You say this all the time as a joke, but I know you mean it, because like Nick you have this kind of confidence in you somewhere. I know it's fleeting sometimes, it's fluttery, and clearly you have your social anxiety issues or whatever. And I just said whatever. I don't mean that in a dismissive kind of way. It's like it's hard to aggregate all this, right? I could say social anxiety, I could say suicidal thoughts. I could add all of those things together, but it'd be a mouthful. So I don't mean that in a dismissive kind of way. But Nick, like you're doing a great thing. I mean, and it feels bad, yeah, in his situation, because those are his doubts coming through, right? Those are his insecurities. But I would like to reassure that, you don't really have to apologize to anybody here, right? The people who are offended or upset or mad or whatever, who want to cancel you, but it's like, and I think it's very few in numbers in this day and age. People have matured over the internet era, haven't they? At this point, it's not 2005 YouTube where everyone was like myself included, were immature little kids. We've matured over the past 15 plus years of online digital presence. People are no longer unfamiliar with how to conduct themselves online, recognizing that online they're still interacting with other people, real genuine people. So it's not something that he has to feel bad about it. You have to feel bad about it. You're not letting anyone down, and if anybody does feel like you've let them down, that's more of a question of them. Why do they feel like you've let them down by not punching out that live stream, right? They took up an expectation, right, that could not be fulfilled, and part of that is, yeah, sure, maybe you feel like you're responsible in some point, and that's admirable, because yeah, it's kind of true. You say something, you better do it. That's good of you, but it's partly on you, but partly, I would say more of it is actually on the other person expecting it to be, and then throwing a fit. So hopefully most people don't actually throw a fit. I don't think there's anybody here who feels particularly massively disappointed that you went to go through with your stream. But going on forward, there's also, and then there's the people who, obviously the good majority, I think, I say good, I don't mean to place some sort of moral superiority thing, but the vast majority of people are like, yeah, man, who gives a fuck, who gives a damn, right? It's like, you do you take care of yourself. I know there's a point in time in my life where I used to feel so bad about letting other people down and stuff. You gotta let that go. And it's not something that I can convince you to do, or anybody else. Like what is some rando's perspective? Like, who am I, right? It's like, you don't know. I'm just on this this sort of response. It's like this 120-degree angle facing down, and you see the forehead. It's like a half face here, shot down the side. There's some like shit on the ground, and it's on a live stream. I'm screen capturing it's like and who am I? Right? It's nobody. This is a nobody here responding to you. This guy was Nick. You've got like 700,000 plus subs and stuff like that. Not to say that's like a measure that should be used for determining someone's personal worth. Not at all. What I mean is, like, I'm a pretty much a nobody, right? And I'm pretty much a nobody here in terms of digital presence. And I'm coming here and just being face to face, person to person, saying, me saying this stuff probably doesn't have any impact at all, and has probably no meaning, and it's not going to make you any less resolved with your issues or feel any more comfortable in any way. I just felt like, this stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the people here, if they're really adults, and I say the vast majority of people here, I want to assume, I don't, well, not assume, but give the benefit of doubt, be charitable and say the vast majority of people are fine with YouTube. Everybody's got their own lives. They're not going to be, hopefully, the people who have their lives together, and I would assume the majority of them, like, they're assuming again, right? It's like they're not going to be sitting here like, oh, Nick, you didn't put out your live stream. Here I am missing my copium. It's right. It's like, fuck, what the hell, man? It's like, no, you're not obligated to that. And most people aren't gonna be like that. And if there are people like that, they got more issues to resolve, right? And that I'm not criticizing or judging them in a really bad way. Like they can work on their issues, and all the best to them on working on their issues. I had issues too. I still have issues now, personally speaking. And clearly, Nick does too, and so you, Nick, you have. It's all right, it's not a big deal. So this is kind of, let's continue. What am I saying right now, right?
You saved me. Honestly, you saved my life.
Saved my life.
I would not.
Some people kind of saved my life too when I was in
not be here if it wasn't for YouTube and the amount of people that watch me and message me. But with all that being said, I don't know if I could stream right now because it just takes too much out of me, especially with what I've been going through these past 6-7 months. It's like I have to get to the point where I have to fake, not fake, but where I have to push myself over the limit. And I already do my videos, and I'm fine with that. The videos will continue. I'm fine with doing videos. YouTube is easy for me when I'm doing YouTube videos. But Twitch streaming, it really put things into perspective and highlighted my real problem. And I told you guys I would do this One Piece Saturday.
So right now he's talking about how he's having a much easier time doing YouTube videos than he does with Twitch live streams. And that's very, very different from my experience in the sense that I don't have that difficulty, you could say, streaming onto Twitch anymore, versus having difficulty with YouTube, because for me it's a technical issue, right? I'm not good at editing. So for me it's a very technical issue. That's why I'm having difficulty with YouTube, whereas not having any difficulty with Twitch. And I found my, I guess, confidence and esteem, and resolved my I don't want to say people pleasing or people pandering issues. I did have those sorts of tendencies before though, but it's like I feel like I was uncomfortable for a long time in my life in large group situations, and I don't feel that way anymore, right? I don't feel that way anymore. Hold on a second. Is this even recording? Yeah. So I don't feel that way anymore, and frankly, I know I used to, and they were quite bad. I had that kind of affliction, you could say, of caring too much about upsetting people who were not either in my lane, so they had their own worries that were not necessarily my own. But most importantly, I kept surrounding myself with people who were just not worth my time. And when I say that, I don't mean that as a way to jab at them. It's more like the reason why they're not worth my time is because they have their own major problems and challenges and issues, and so they had short tempers and were explosive and manipulative and sometimes abusive and harassing. But the fact is, they were only like that because they had insurmountable crises and huge responsibilities that they we're just not ready to handle, or you know, there's other things, and you know, life dealt them a really bad hand, and they ended up becoming really bad people because as a result. And the same could be said about me at a particular point in time, right? So not at all a way to jab at people. It's just saying that, you know, like there was a time where I would say, where am I going with this? Revealing a little bit too much here, huh? The point is, it's not really. What was he saying? Let's see. I need to get myself back on track.
Stuff where every Saturday I would do 10 episodes, and then I lowered it to 5, and it wasn't because of copyright. It's because I just can't do 10.
Yeah. So what I was saying, basically, I've gone past that point where I would care so much about other people's particular opinions and so on and so forth about what I do. And Nick, you should be also be able to overcome that particular obstacle. I mean, if people don't like what you have to put out, then, well, part of it is your concern because, you know, obviously you have to make engaging content in order to make it somewhere. That's the way to achieve success. But also part of it is, you know, looking at how far you've come. It's like, I'm not suggesting that you don't have to maintain that, but rather that, you know, there's a certain point, a certain threshold where it really just doesn't matter what people think, right? You could very much just put out the stream and be honest and say that, you know, you really were just having a very difficult time putting on live streams, which is what you're doing right now, and everyone would basically understand. Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot to respond to, I guess.
I can't be live that long right now without having a nervous breakdown and a panic attack, or even worse. So, if I feel terrible not being able to commit to something like that, because I know people get excited to watch my streams. I know people get excited to watch One Piece with me and to see my reactions. But I think for now, I need to take my focus off Twitch and put it all into YouTube. Continue with my daily content, reacting to episodes of animes that I've dropped because of streaming. Vinland Saga, Arcane, Full Metal Alchemist. I dropped these animes on my channel because streaming just took so much out of me. But I don't want to be like that. I want to stream. It's been my dream to do that. I want to be a YouTuber, a streamer. I want to be one of those big streamers and YouTubers.
Interesting.
That's my goal. I live for that. And that might be a childish dream, but, you know, it's mine. I want to do that. But I can't do it right now. And I hate making a video like this because you see my videos and then you see this video and you're like, oh, this isn't the same guy. But I hope you understand that not everything you see is what it really is. You know, you see on Instagram these people having amazing lives, but that's just that picture in the moment. And with my videos, it's like the video in the moment. Once that camera's off, I'm just like the rest of the people, rest of these stressed out kids in the world. I'm not even a kid, I'm an adult. I'm just stressed out. And I need to work on this. I need to work on my mental health. And I hope you understand that. But the videos are not stopping. YouTube will always be here for me. Twitch is just going to be on pause. I don't know for how long. I don't want to give schedules out because then I feel so bad when I don't fulfill the schedule. When I say that I can't do a day because of the way I feel, because of what I'm going through. But
So there's something else here, right? This is more of a method, more of an issue with method too, right? So it's been mentioned many times before, right? When you set a goal, like, should you let everyone know or should you not, right? this has to do with like one of those productivity things. I'm trying to raise my eyes a little bit better. I noticed that I'm not the most alert looking person on stream. Look like I'm almost like sneering down. I'm not trying to sneer, it's just hard for me to keep my eyes open. Got those fucking Asian eyes. It's like a fucking line across the face. South Park. Hey. But yeah, so part of that is it's like a logistical issue, I guess. It's like a, you know, he says he doesn't want to put out a schedule that he can't stick to and adhere to, and having that schedule put out there, made public, puts so much pressure on you as a creator. It's just as anybody, you know, who has a commitment on the job, and a business, on a particular project, on a hobby or interest, or an appointment to meet someone, right? You know, you put that out there, and then here in this case you got like 700,000 people, right, and more, expecting, or if you put that out there, yeah, that creates that expectation, which kind of goes back to the beginning where I was talking about. So, you know, part of that, yeah, it's also true that he has to take some responsibility for this, because he's put out the schedule and made that commitment known to everyone. So basically, he's not ready to put out a schedule, so he's going to take it back. And I think that's a healthy thing for you to do. Like, if you can't do it, Nick, then you can just not put up the schedule.
I just can't even look myself in the mirror nowadays, and I need to fix that. I need to work on myself for the first time. I need to put myself first. And I love to put you guys first. I'll always make you my main priority, but I think right now I need to just work on me. I just need to make sure I'm healthy and I don't do anything that could hurt people. I've become bitter. I've become very pissed off at everything. Every little thing pisses me off lately. Like a loud noise going off in my background could piss me off, and I shouldn't feel like this. I'm on edge. I'm on the edge, and I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. I'm right at the end, and I can't fall. I gotta step back. I gotta take that step back, reevaluate things, come back to reality, and understand that it's okay to feel like this, and I shouldn't have to ask people if I could put my mental health first. But I just hope it's okay with you guys. But yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to lower a mood. I didn't want to ruin a mood. I just needed to get this out. My heart's been beating all day. I just had a family vacation for like 3 days with my family, and I just had a lot of time to think about this. And it just made me realize that I need to fix myself. Not only for me, but for you guys. I want to make better content for you. I want to be genuine.
So this has
And like I said, this isn't me putting on an act to do a video or to stream.
So
it's me being myself, but then when that camera's off, reverting back to this mental prison, this mental hell. So being on camera is a distraction for me. When I'm distracted, it's like I'm happy. And I just need to find a way not to fall into that. I don't want the only time to be happy is when I'm on camera. I want to always be happy. But now it's affecting my personal life. I don't go out with my friends. They always invite me out like every other day, every week. And I don't go out. I haven't been out with my friends in months. They invite me out almost every day. I haven't been out with a girl since last November. I should be living my life, hanging out with my friends, seeing family, having fun, going on vacations, meeting a girl, starting a family. I should be doing all of this, but I'm not. And it's my this mental hell that I've created, and I gotta fix that. But yeah.
So I think it's very good on his part in terms of self-awareness, because I always believe, clearly, I think he's, first of all, very far ahead in certain aspects of his life. He's had a lot of fulfilling things, whether it's clear to me he considers, he has family, he considers family. He has family that he considers family, blood related, who considers family. He also has quite a few good friends who hit him up constantly, consistently. For you, it seems like it really is all internal. Right? It's something that I could somewhat relate to, but not necessarily, because mine wasn't entirely internal. It was also resulting from external. So this is probably something that is a little bit off canter with me. I can't fully relate to your situation, but what I can say is that you have a very good perspective in wanting to move forward in life. When you say you want to, there's two things I want to say. So first, wanting to start a family, spend more time with your, the previous your family, and then have time to spend with your friends and meet someone special, and maybe start your own family, have some kids and stuff like that, by moving on ahead in life in all these meaningful, fulfilling ways that is pretty standard for the average person. And I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. I don't know why. It shouldn't surprise me that he wants that. I don't know. I think this is very healthy. It's incredibly healthy, right? This is exactly what you should be doing, right? And you're doing it, and what's been getting in the way is you receding into your own, as you say, mental prison. Mental health, right? Becoming bitter and resentful and stuff like that. Very, very good of you to basically be self-aware of that, right? Tiny little things that make you irritable, that normally should not. Ultimately, I think, Nick, you have a good idea of where you want to go. Like, it's very clear for you that you want to head in that direction, have a relationship, start a family, spend time with friends, go outdoors and hang out, not be stuck inside the room, feeling bitter, staring at the ceiling, as you say, getting panic attacks and nervous breakdowns and weird stuff like that. Well, nobody should really be going through that, although that happens. So I just wanted to highlight that you have a very healthy trajectory. Like, it's a very healthy goal set in mind. Secondly, this is to address a previous thing that I was thinking about. It's just, you mentioned you had mentioned wanting to take care of yourself first. I think that's exactly how it should be, I used to have the same sort of issue. But basically, you should absolutely take care of yourself first. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of everyone else? It's like, if you're going to take care of this community and provide the content that you say will entertain all the folk out here, including myself. And I say folk, what an old ancient dinosaur I am. But it's like, if you're going to entertain us, entertain other people, and make people laugh and smile and be happy and get excited and and full of energy, you yourself have to be, of course, full of energy in a genuine, honest way. It's not something that you can fake, as you said, and you don't try to fake it, which I appreciate. But that would mean, of course, you don't push yourself beyond what your body and mind's capabilities are, right? If you go beyond your limits, you're going to strain yourself, and everybody can tell when you're straining yourself, because then it just doesn't seem real, right? You're not comfortable. When you're comfortable, there's no strain. You're not pushing ahead and beyond into something that is so unbearable for you that your smile seems disingenuous, right? So you know that to be genuine. So please take care of yourself first. And
I'm sorry again.
And you don't have to be sorry at all. That's what it is. But I mean, you know what the funny thing is? This entire thing is just me literally just regurgitating a lot of what Nick's saying, right? I mean, everything here I'm saying, you're basically saying. Or it's like there's no need for me to even respond to this. This is like and part of him saying this is like an update that he needs to have with his community. I don't know what I'm doing here. Why am I reacting to this?
Same time, I'm not sorry, because I gotta put myself first. But you guys mean everything to me, and I don't want to let you down. And I know this is gonna turn a lot of people off from my channel because they think I'm faking now.
If they think you're faking because you just gave a very honest, adult, mature conversation about your own personal well-being, your own personal health, they should not have come to your channel in the first place. Let me repeat that. If there are people out there who cannot value personal well-being and health beyond over your commitment to literally push out entertaining live streams, and they believe that that's a higher priority than your own personal well-being and health, which is directly related to and is what allows you to create entertaining content in the first place, then they should not be on your channel, Nick. They should not be on your channel. If you push them away, they should be away. Those are the kind of people who you mentioned in the past kept trying to cancel you over stupid dumb shit. So it's good that you're saying this, of course, but
I hope they watched the entire video to understand what the real problem is.
And hopefully they'll be an adult about that, right?
But yeah, guys, videos continue tomorrow. Spy Family, we got tomorrow. But right now, I'm just putting streaming on hold. We'll be back, though. And when I come back, I'm going to be at my best. I'm going to take over. And I'm going to be one of the best to do it. That's my plan. I think 1 and 3 are the exact same thing. See, even when I'm doing an emotional video, I have to make a joke. I'm so sorry. It was so hard not making a joke during this video. Yeah.
That's how you cope.
Whatever, man.
He copes with making jokes.
I love you guys. But yeah. I gotta learn to love myself too.
Good job with that. Alright, well anyways, that was a reaction that I wanted to get down. I screened it. Now I'm going to stop the stream here. And what I'm going to do, well, keep it running actually. What I'm going to do is, so let's stop the stream.